Today, we're going to be talking NFL free agency. Perhaps the biggest free agent on the market this offseason is Texans defensive end and three-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. Watt has reportedly received interest from a number of teams, including the Green Bay Packers, Buffalo Bills, Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm joined by Marena Sever and Peterson to debate.
I think, J.J. Watt is kind of in a luxury position because based on the question of where he should go, it depends on what angle you look at. Where is he going to get the most money? Where is he going to have the biggest impact? Things like that. But I think the team that is the most likely contender at this point for him is where he should go, and that's the Green Bay Packers. First of all, it's his hometown team. He talks about how he, wore his Brett Favre jersey on Sundays and things like that. He spends a lot of time there in the offseason. That's where his family is, in Wisconsin anyways. He, of course, was a Badger. And so it's kind of like the Trevor Bauer going home to LA type thing if J.J. Watt were to sign with Green Bay. Plus, he would be a fit there. They need an edge. They're in win-now mode. They're a championship-adjacent team, so they would pay him, and he's going to ask for money. And yes, they're like $12 million over cap space, I think, right now. But there are a couple moves that they could make to clear it up. They need an edge. J.J. Watt would fit there. It just kind of seems like this perfect thing for him, to go to Green Bay, and that's they've kind of emerged as the front runner to pick up JJ, and I think right now that's where he would fit the best.
See, I like the Green Bay pick, but for me, this is probably my biased answer. I'm going to start off with my biased answer, and that's him going to the Chicago Bears. We like defense, and I like the way that the Chicago Bears franchise is moving with their defense. You have Khalil Mack, Mario Edwards Jr., Eddie Goldman, and you have everyone on that defensive squad that they're getting new defensive coordinators. They can cater to what J.J. Watt wants to be in the future. But you brought up family, and although he is from Wisconsin, his wife actually plays for the Chicago Red Stars. So she's really like, let's come to Chicago, which would be great for his family. But also, I'm thinking, like you said, the cap space. Right now, the Chicago Bears probably don't have enough to pay for JJ, so that means someone has to go. And like I said, I am biased about Chicago, so it seems like Mitchell, his time is going to run out, and they can get rid of a few extra people. But if you get rid of Mitchell Trubisky, that means you can't get a big quarterback because you do want J.J. Watt defensively. So that means they can get Andy Dalton, Deshaun Watson possibly, and then that would make J.J. go. So for me, my first pick is going to be the Chicago Bears.
I see Chicago, and I totally understand all of your points and where you're coming from. And if I'm being honest, yeah, would he fit with Chicago? I think so. But the thing is, with Chicago, they need offense so badly.
That's the thing, yeah.
So I think because of how badly they need offense, it would be almost unwise of them to spend all the money that J.J. Watt is going to ask for on a strength, when that's money that could be going to building up their weakness. And what is killing them consistently is that they just don't have an offense that can produce. It's not efficient, and it's just abysmal at times, especially with Mitch Trubisky. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason with that. But yes, would JJ fit at Chicago? I think so. But I'm not sure that that is the best move for the Bears. And the thing is, JJ Watt being added to a team makes them better for 1 year. I think he's going to want a multi-year deal, and I don't think he's going to accept anything less than a multi-year deal, and he's going to ask for a bunch of money because of his reputation. He can ask for a bunch of money. He's J.J. Watt, three-time Defensive Player of the Year. His reputation speaks for itself. But I think, again, it makes a team better for 1 year, but then they're going to have a dead contract for the remainder of the time that they sign him for because he's really just, a pass rusher, run stopper now. He's in decline. And he's injury prone and he's expensive. And so, again, that's something that, teams have to consider. But it is, the reputation of having J.J. Watt that allows him to be able to ask for a big contract. And if you're looking at a team like, I don't know, Indianapolis that has like $60 million in cap space, if J.J. Watt wants to go to the team where he's going to make the most money, that's where you go because they can pay him. They can afford to pay him. And it's a little bit different in Chicago because, Indianapolis has a strong defense, but they also have a pretty solid offense. They don't have to spend on quarterback, on running back, on their O-line, of course. So they have the money to bring in a guy and the means to bring in a guy like J.J. Watt. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. And again, the answer of where he should go changes based on what you're looking at, if it's where he's going to get the money, most impact. Like if he wanted to make the biggest impact, he could go to Tennessee because their front four is the definition of rough. So if he wants to make a huge impact, he could go to a team like that. But I still think, when we come out of free agency and J.J. Watt has signed with the team, I think he's going to be with Green Bay. I just think he's going to go home. They need an edge. He would fit there. They're a championship adjacent team, which of course has to be attractive to a guy like J.J. Watt, who, knows what it's like to play in the playoffs and knows what it's like last year, to be the bottom of the barrel. And I don't know. I just see him at Green Bay.
See, like I said, I do like the Green Bay pick, and like you said about impact, the Chicago Bears would have an impact with him just as a leader. But then, like you said, the offensively, where can he fit in? Does he even want to go to a team that isn't really there yet? And my last sleeper pick would have to be Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson loves J.J. Watt. They can do some big things there leadership-wise. And J.J. Watt, how long is he even going to be in the NFL remaining years? So going to the Seahawks can maybe help him tag along some other people. And on the defensive end, him and Chris Dunlap could go crazy, honestly.
Yeah, I could see Seattle. I could also see Arizona in the front office
okay.
making a sneaky little play for him. Chandler Jones was up on Twitter as soon as J.J. Watt posted that video saying he's leaving Houston, like, hey, guys. And his old friend D-Hop plays there, and the Cardinals front office is all in, as we know. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. I'm excited. I don't think there's a right answer of where is, the best for him because, again, it changes based on what you're looking at. But we'll just have to see where he ends up.
Yes, well, Jacob, how do you feel about this? Because it's not as heated because things are undetermined right now. But how do you feel, and where do you think J.J. Watt can end up?
Well, as a Packer fan, I'd love to see him in the green and gold, but they also have to re-sign Aaron Jones, so we'll see what happens there. And that's all the time we have for today. As always, head over to Sided.co and the Sided Debates app for your chance to climb up that leaderboard. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at TakeAsideKU. For all of us here at Take A Side, I'm Jacob Polacheck, and we'll see you again soon.